Hey everybody, it's Scott, and here's what's new at Disc Giant. Alright, one of the things people be excited about is a very large shipment of Jades, a Latitude 64 lightweight disc. These are all going to be range probably 140 to 150s. These are, you'll see that this is the easy to use line. The numbers on these, they're not too fast, making them easier to throw with a thinner rim, but -2, so these are still understable. When you add everything up, it's got a net gain of -1. So an easy to throw lightweight disc that people may be interested in a variety of colors. Check these out if you're looking for stuff to try. If you're newer to the sport or have lower arm speeds, these will be easy to use and worth investigating. Getting into our MVP and Axiom delivery, we have a bunch of stuff that just came in, and we have a bunch more coming not until the end of January. So while you're checking this out, if you're an MVP Axiom fan, you may find some tasty stuff here. Now there's two gigantic stacks of waves. This is a relatively high speed at speed 11, and then 5 glide, good glide, -2.52. So this, after you do the math on the last two numbers, you'll hear me talk about net gain. The net gain for the stability of the disc ends up being -2 when you do the math on the last two numbers. So this is a pretty easy, slightly understable disc to use. And the big thing here is, there's an example. We have weights down to 148 all the way up to max weight. So we have weights that would be super easy for people to throw that are just getting into this or have low power. And then people that have more arm speed and more power, we have max weights. We have the stock stamp, and then we have a whole stack also of the limited edition, limited release wave stamp with a 3-color foil. Those usually cost a little bit more because they cost more to make. Okay, waves. Another very interesting disc. And, you know, one of my favorite shipments to receive out of all discs is absolutely MVP and Axiom, because when you take them out of the box, there's just some, I mean, like, look at this. The colors are just crazy. You got this rim, it's all swirly in the center. Like this one, I just pull it out and go, oh man, I just want to have this, despite the fact that I don't even throw MVP, because as some of you know, I'm sponsored. Anyway, by Innova, a Tantrum. This is an interesting disc. Why? I don't even know of another disc that is made which exceeds 14 speed. They're putting this guy at 14.5 speed. That is an extremely fast disc. And if you know about discs and disc flight, the faster the disc is, the more potential you have for distance. But that is only if you have the ability to get it up to speed, all right? So if you're looking at a high-speed disc and you might not have the fastest arm, how you compensate for that is getting a lower weight version of the disc, or if it's a high-speed disc, you try to get something that is understable. Now, when we look at the rest of the numbers on this, 5 glide is really good glide, but we got a -1.5 and a 3, so this has a net gain of 1.5 on stability, so it's still going to be a pretty stable disc, and at that high speed, it's going to be stable. But this is definitely something to experiment with for people who are high-speed throwers. It looks like there's, I think, oh wow, look at that one. You know, just, oh my, look at, oh, that's just that part alone. The flight plate has some killer coloring, and then that marbling of the rim, oh mama. Anyway, it looks like they're all probably in the one, that's a great one too. I don't know, I could sit here and look at these all day. Okay, look at, they're all going to be in the 170s. Another new arrival. Streamline MVP and Axiom all come out of the same factory, but here is the limited edition version of the Pilot. This is a very neutral stability putter. It's got a micro bead. It sort of feels to me, not exactly, I mean it's in the ballpark of an AVR, somewhere between an AVR and an AVR driver, or KC Pro AVR, in terms of the shape It's got a little bit more of a bevel, closer to maybe a Warlock, but then it's got a micro bead. Anyway, feels really nice, and the plastic is super grippy. And the cool thing about these, when they come out in the limited releases, they do these 3-color foils, which just makes the graphics look incredible. So you see 3 colors of foil here, and there's a whole giant stack in varying weights. I believe 165 up to max weight, and there's plenty of opportunities to build matching pairs, that kind of thing, if this is a putter you want to try or a putter you're committed to. All right. This is the first wave of a number of waves we have coming over the next week. Some new trilogy coming in. Look, there's a whole stack of factory second. All they are is double stamped. The rest of in terms of the quality of the disc, you don't even see bubbles in the rims or anything. These are guaranteed to throw just like a regular Vandal, but save you a bunch of money. So if you're a Vandal fan, come check out, or if it's a disc you want to try, come check out the factory second Vandals. There's also 2 stacks of factory second double stamped compasses, a relatively easy to use mid-range in a variety of weights, starting at 170. Well, 173. I haven't really looked through these. 173, 174. Some of the 170s. There is some of the Star. I forgot. Not Star. The gold plastic, and there is a whole stack of Opto. If you, depending on what plastic you like, looks like there's some 175s, 170s in there. Different weights, some metal flake in this stack also of Opto factory second compass. We've got a stack of 170s teleports. Numbers on this guy, again, another crazy high-speed disc. But compared to the Tantrum, this one is going to be easier to throw because you have a 14.5 speed, but you have a negative 1.5, then 2.5. So the net gain on this guy is only 1, so slightly easier to throw than the Tantrum, which is the Axiom release of pretty close to the same disc, but this one's slightly less stable. Anyway, something you may want to check out if you're looking at the upper realm of disc speed. All right, we're going to take a second here and do a product highlight. Over here at Bag Island, you're going to find these dynamic discs practice bags. Now these are great, well, for a couple of things, stashing your discs and storing your discs, but this is a great setup to store a whole sleeve of discs for when you're going out to do field work. There's almost nothing more important than field work in disc golf for improving your game. Anyway, these bags have lots of storage for a big stack of discs to take out in addition to your bag, and it's got a spot for some extra drinks and extra storage here for phone or whatever. But anyway, a good investment for your practice game and for keeping your stuff organized in your trunk so you can get out there and practice to your maximum efficiency. Okay, don't get scared, folks, but here is another 14.5 speed driver from MVP. This is the Relativity. What's different about this over the Teleport and the Tantrum? Well, the numbers are slightly different. So the Tantrum was a negative 1.5 and 3. This is reverse of that. It's a negative 3, 1.5. So out of the 3 of these, the 3 of these 14.5 speed just missiles, this is probably going to be the easiest to throw of the 3 because you have a net gain of negative 1.5, so understable versus a little bit stable and very stable. The other thing that's different about this one is that it's got a 5.5 glide versus 5 glide on the other 2. So Relativity in this disc of this caliber, all these are going to be in the 170s, but some different colors for you to check out. And one more disc in these high speed selection and release wave from MVP and Axiom is the Excite. Now, while we had the full range of stability in these crazy 14.5 speed drivers, we've got some overstable, some slightly stable, some understable. This one comes in at dead straight neutral. The net gain on the last two numbers are -2 and 2. And whilst two of the other selections were 5 glide, this one is also a 5.5 glide for some extra D. So the Excite, oh man, look at that one. God, there's just some cool ones in different colors for you to check out. And now we're going to move into some of the mid-ranges, or two, is it one mid-range? We're going to move into talking about mid-ranges that just came in. One mid-range came in from Axiom, and this whole stack is Paradox. What you're going to find about this disc is it will be the most understable mid-range that we have in the shop. The numbers on this are 5, 4, -4, 0. So this has got a net gain of -4. I don't know of any other disc that we even have here that is that understable. So a mid-range, if you know someone that's newer to the sport, or just have low power and low speed on your throw, this is going to be a gift from the heavens. Starting, it looks like at 173. There's some 170s. Let's see, 165. There's different colors. And the weights start at 165 and work all the way up to, there's a 179. There's a range from 165. Hey man, no weight? Maybe it was a 178. See how they did that? The sticker fell off. Looks like 165 up to 178. Extremely understable mid-range disc in this beautiful Neutron plastic. And also we got in a restock of Atoms in weights ranging from 165 to max weight in all kinds of colors, and in all three plastics, firm, medium, and soft. So if you were an Atom fan and were bummed that we were almost out or out in a couple of the plastics, and we're looking for certain weights or certain colors, there's a whole bunch of them. Nice. Oh man, that soft is nice and grippy. But anyway, different and firm. If you like a firm putter, man, that sums it up in terms of firm. Anyway, a whole bunch of new Atoms for you to pick from. Also new to the shop are these recycled plastic MVPs. I believe this is the first time they've released the recycled plastic, and it's referred to as R2. It basically feels like Neutron. I think it's a blend of Neutron plastics that got ground down. And the reason they're black is because on a lot of MVP stuff and Axiom stuff, look, there's this color and there's this color and there's this color, and then you put it all together, and what happens? It comes out black or very dark, and they probably put a little black dye in there just to make it consistent. Some of them will have a little swirling in it with variation, but anyway, and then you've got a grippy outer rim. So there's 2 discs available so far in the R2 recycled plastic, the Ion. You'll find these here in weights 165 to max weight. There's a whole stack of juicy R2 Ions, and there's also a stack of R2 spins, also in weights 165 to 175. And this plastic is a little softer than what you'd experience on a regular Neutron. Well, not really. I mean, the difference is so slight, but I do think it has just a slight bit more flex to it than the regular Neutron. Anyway, if you're into discs that help repurpose old materials and help the environment, I'm not sure how much it helps the environment, but a lot of us like that idea, myself included. And you might like the color, you might like the color, and you might like the fact that it saves some money compared to a regular Neutron. Now Neutron, I believe, is going for $21 or $22. Off the top of my head, I don't have it in front of me. I think it's 21. But these you'll find for $15. So it'll also save you a little bit of money if you love those putters in that plastic or Neutron plastic and you want to give these a try. And in the case next to the register in the pin section where you see glass minis and other things like that. You will see a couple new additions with a streamlined discs and an MVP enamel pin now available. The animal, they're all max weight star animals. So if you like pigs, if you like rhinos, you might want to check this out and see how it differs. The animal's a little bit slower, so it's a little bit deader when it lands, which is good for this type of approach disc. Oh man, oh, more destroyers? There's something unusual about this stack of destroyers. They're G-Star, that's not what's unusual about them, but there's a 150. This stack gets as low as light as 137. So why would you want that? Especially in particular, I'm going to turn this sideways. This, and I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this. When you're able to depress a disc and it makes this, you know, kind of that heartbeat noise, when you're able to do that, the disc is referred to as a pop top. It's definitely domey, but they refer to that as a pop top because it pops when you push it down. It has a heartbeat. Now, the world record for the past, maybe it's 6 years at this point, has been held by someone with a lot of power throwing a very overstable disc, and that disc is a boss, but specifically in a 130 weight, okay? And you're like, okay, well, why would you want that? Not only a 130 weight, but with this characteristic, a pop top, okay? It has overstability to fight flipping over too much with that extreme light weight because you're able to move your body faster and get the disc up to the speed it's intended to travel to get maximum distance with it. They're using extreme angles when they're doing this, but anyway, there's a stack of these if you're experimenting with maximum distance. One thing to explore is an extremely overstable disc in a very light weight. You've probably heard me talk about that before with some other things we've had in the shop, but this is a new stack. I've never seen a destroyer. Well, it's been a long time since I've seen a destroyer in that light a weight. All right, look, we've had for a long time in the shop star sidewinders, but what we have been unable to get a hold of recently are lighter weight. And this stack goes down to 160 and works its way up to 170s. Most of what we had in here were max weight because that's all we had available. But anyway, starting at 160, some people have been looking for some lighter sidewinders, and there's a stack of them here if you were one of those people. Here's another stack. Okay, Turn. Turn is a great disc. It's easy to use, especially for people that are maybe newer or have finesse with their turnover game. But this particular stack, they're already half gone. They just came in this morning and half of them have sold. And why is that? There's a bunch of turns in here already. But this stack, this particular stack, they are 138, 137, and 139. So if you thought the turn was easy to use, this makes it extremely easy to use. If you like a turn, let's pretend like you like a 150 turn. Maybe you even like a 160 turn, but you have a friend that's starting off. A 130 turn is going to be extremely easy to use comparatively, and probably a great beginner disc, or if you're experimenting with massive highs or flips because you have too much power to overpower this, but a really accessible disc for some bigger distance. It's a faster disc, but at this stability and this weight is something to consider if you've been wrestling with distance. Okay, it'll be easier to use than probably what you're trying out now. Getting into this sport, people make the mistake of going into a sporting goods store, for example, and they see this, but most of the time they're not available in this weight. Most of the time you see a destroyer in a shop and it's max weight because a lot of the people that throw destroyers throw max weight because that's what they need. But very few people can throw a max weight destroyer and maximize its potential because they don't have the arm speed to do it. Anyhow, most people make the mistake of going into a sporting goods store and they're new to the sport and go, oh, destroyer, that sounds awesome. They get one of these and it's max weight and it's almost impossible for them to use. And it's discouraging. But we've got some stuff here that makes it easier for you to throw further and not feel like you're incapable of throwing past 100 feet because you got the wrong disc. And besides that, there's people here that can tell you what's good and what's bad. And if you bring your discs in with you, by the way, we can take a look at how worn in they are, what the weight is, and what the disc is, and you're you come in and say, look, I like this, but I wish it did a little more of this or a little bit more of that. We can analyze what you've brought in your bag and help you pick something to fit what you're trying to accomplish. Okay, look, there's a restock on Star Mambas. We still have some max weights and some cool stamps, but here's some stock ones that start at weights 160 and up. All right, there's a bunch of 160-ish Mambas if you were trying to get a hold of some Mambas, and then there's another stack of R Pro Pigs because everyone's throwing these lately, and this particular run is flattish, and these are, I almost feel like it's a different plastic. It's R Pro, but it's so freaking tacky that it's crazy. Anyway, there's all kinds of different colors. That's an uncommon color. I always like, I don't know, I love white discs. They just, I don't know what it is about them. You get them, they're, I don't know, the stamps show up really cool on them. Anyway, look, there's a bunch of different colors. Purple, another uncommon color. And there's some more pigs in stock. So we'll have some more videos coming out soon. Hope to see you here. Come on down. See you soon. Come on down and see what we can help you with. Stay tuned in the next week and a half. We have 3 or 4 more shipments of different items coming in from Dynamic that you may be interested in. And there might be a few more things trickling in from other manufacturers. So stay tuned. Definitely more episodes coming quickly because there's a whole lot of stuff coming one after another after another. So come on down and check it out. We hope to see you here at Disc Giant.